This is Huddle Adventures. I'm Eddie. Laura isn't here right now. Today is Wednesday, January 5th, 2022, and I have cruise news for you guys. I have cruise news from Hawaii, Hong Kong, Royal, Norwegian, and Carnival. But before I get to that news, I need you to do us a solid favor, guys. Subscribe to our channel. Go ahead. Subscribe to our channel. It's free to you. Helps our channel grow. Go ahead, do it. I'll wait for you. Okay. Turn the bell on, guys, so you know when we upload new videos. We don't want you to miss anything. Go ahead, turn the bell on. Great. After you watch this video, if you like what you saw, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, guys. Those things help our channel grow. We also welcome you to comment below if there's anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to ask. Just keep it positive, though, guys. The world is full of negativity right now. We don't need more of that. This isn't the place for that. Keeping it positive while trying to report the news. Oxymoron a little bit. But here we go. We're going to start off with Royal Caribbean, guys. Royal Caribbean came out yesterday and announced they are extending their temporary COVID-19 mask protocol and no smoking protocol on their ships. They're extending it from, it was going to expire January 5th, which is today. Now they're extending it through January 31st. So until January 31st, you're going to have to wear masks indoors, everywhere on a Royal Caribbean ship, regardless of your vaccination status, unless you're actively eating or drinking, and you cannot smoke in the casino. Next news story. The authorities in Hong Kong forced a Royal Caribbean ship to return to port one day early. The Spectrums of the Seas was on a cruise to nowhere. I don't believe we can do those in the U.S., but I guess they can do that in Hong Kong. They were ordered to come back to port a day early because 9 passengers were contact traced from a case on land. Okay, so someone got COVID on land. They have an Omicron cluster somewhere in Hong Kong, and they contact traced and found out that 9 of the people this person came in contact with were on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. This one's kind of weird. So Royal Caribbean gave a statement saying that as soon as they were notified about these 9 passengers, those passengers were isolated, tested, all 9 came up negative. There was 2,500 people on the ship, so they were forced to come back one day early. Now, due to Hong Kong requiring the entire crew to be tested and all that, they are canceling their cruise that was scheduled to take off tomorrow. So that cruise on Spectrum of the Seas, which was scheduled for January 6th, is now canceled. Now some good news out of Hawaii. Yesterday, the Hawaii Department of Transportation Harbors Division announced the execution of a port agreement with Carnival and Norwegian. It's almost like they agreed to come up with an agreement, is what I'm taking from this. Okay, there's not a lot of coverage on this story right now, but from what I understand, they have to come to terms in 3 different conditions before they can formally allow cruising to return. I'm going to try to break this down. I've got cheat sheets up here, guys. Okay, the port agreement must include a medical agreement outlining the evacuation of passengers or crew in need of care. The way I'm reading that is, say the medical staff on board becomes overwhelmed with COVID cases and they can't care for all the COVID cases, then at that point, those people will need to go to hospitals. So the cruise lines need to come up with an agreement how they would get the people from the ship safely to a hospital on land in Hawaii. Number 2, they have to have a housing agreement if quarantine or isolation of passengers or crew is required. We're seeing this all over the world, right, guys? We reported about this happened in Portugal over the weekend where the cruise ship decided they were going to isolate and quarantine their 52 crew members that were infected with COVID-19 in local hotels. They have to come up with some kind of agreement like that with Hawaii as well, so that if they are going to isolate and quarantine off the ship. They need to know where they're going to do it, what hotels they're going to do it at, how they're going to get the people to those locations safely. And the last part of this agreement is acknowledge the public health response resources of the local jurisdictions and vaccination strategies by cruise lines to minimize the risk of spread of COVID-19. The way I read that is all parties need to understand what they're doing to limit and minimize the spread of COVID-19. Okay, there's another section to this. In addition to the cruise lines and CDC's COVID-19 protocols, Hawaii has something called Safe Travels. The Hawaii Safe Travels is a digital platform that allows people to upload their vaccination or negative test results. And they've been using that for airline flights coming in to Hawaii. So if you're visiting Hawaii and you're flying in, you have to participate in their Hawaii Safe Travels digital program. They're going to require that for the cruise lines too. Any cruise ships that are coming from out of state, so they're coming from outside of Hawaii to Hawaii, all of the passengers and crew will have to participate in the Hawaii Safe Travels digital program. The inter-island sailings, cruise ships that just sail around the islands of Hawaii, are not required to participate in the Safe Travels digital program, but there's a little catch to that. It's because they already did. What do you mean? Well, first of all, I only know of one ship that does that. The Norwegian Pride of America is actually harbored right there in Hawaii, and it sails around the Hawaiian Islands. It's the only cruise ship that I'm aware of that is only in the U.S. It doesn't go to other countries. So, in order to board the Norwegian Pride of America, you have to fly into Honolulu to board. So what does that mean? That means you're going to do Hawaii Safe Travels before you fly in, because you have to. So that's why they're not requiring it for people sailing on the Norwegian Pride of America. And how do I know about the Norwegian Pride of America? Well, we booked the Norwegian Pride of America Hawaii 7-day cruise for January of 24. So 2 years from now, we'll be going to Hawaii and getting on the Pride of America for Norwegian, and we're excited about that. That is the cruise news I have for you right now. There are some other reports of cruise ships. There's an MSC cruise ship in the Mediterranean that had positive COVID cases over the last few days. Less than 1% on board were positive. We're going to see lots of that all over the world. There's no getting away from COVID-19 at this point. And also keep in mind, the cases being reported on all these cruise ships is super, super low, guys. It's being played up by the mass media. They're trying to make mass hysteria about this. Meanwhile, they're ignoring the total collapse of the airline industry because they can't man flights. All their employees are out sick, and they're canceling flights left and right, and no one is even considering doing anything about that at the CDC. So with that said, guys, that's your news with a little bit of commentary. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you being here. If you made it this long, we love you. Talk to you later. Bye.